We're here with some more Brawl on MTG Arena, featuring new cards from the set Ikoria that just released. Today we're going to be using one of those new cards named Kinnan Bonder Prodigy as our commander. Kinnan is a 2-mana 2/2. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. So Kinnan turns all of your mana dorks into things that add more than 1 mana. For instance, Gilded Goose can tap and add 2 mana of any color by sacrificing a food, which is very nice. And we have a lot of those types of mana dorks. We have Gilded Goose, Caryatid, a bunch of different druids, Mana Leaf Pixie, even things like Arcane Signet, Nyx Lotus. All these things add mana. We have some big payoffs in the form of Finale of Devastation, Hydroid Krasis, Steelbane Hydra, Mass Manipulation, even something like Gadwick. And then some big mana payoffs as well, like Kogla and Enduray's Forerunners, Kiora Best the Sea God, and then some good just standard blue-green value cards like Uro, Tamio, Nissa, Karuga. So just a blue-green deck that's trying to ramp up and spend its mana well. Speaking of a bunch of mana, Kinnan also has the ability 7 mana. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a non-human creature from among them onto the battlefield. So Kinnan both helps you ramp up and then is a mana sink for using all your excess mana. So we're gonna play 5 games with this, as is tradition, and see how it goes. I've been having a lot of fun with the new Brawl format, or the new format in Brawl, I should say. It looks like our opponent is also going to be using one of the new cards called Yorion. We will definitely keep this hand. This is a great hand. Our opponent's commander is a 5-mana 4/5, and when it enters the battlefield, they can exile any number of target non-land permanents they own and control, and then return them to the battlefield. I will once upon a time, because we do have Gilded Goose. We did not find it. I don't think we want to Nyxbloom Ancient. I think we just want the island, which is a little unfortunate, but an island is something we're going to want. We'll play Incubation Druid. And our opponent started the game with Leyline of Anticipation in play. All of their spells basically have flash now. And now we can play Kinnan and Gyre Engineer. So we've got some big ramping going on early. Next turn we have our 4 lands, and then 7 more mana, so we can have 7 mana next turn. We'll play Vivian. Another new card from Ikoria. Lets us look at the top card of our library at any time, and we can cast creatures from the top of our library. Our top of our library is just a forest, so we can't do that. So we'll just +1 and make a beast. And then next turn, if we get to do something, if we get to untap as is, we'll get to -2. We'll even play the Caryatid. And then the -2 will let us play a giant Steelbane Hydra and search our library and put another giant creature into play, such as Agent of Treachery, if we want. Or that Nyxbloom Agent. Then we'll attack with Kinnan. Our opponent had Shadow the Sky, but we still have a Planeswalker in play, which is the main reason why I was okay with this line. And here we'll play Steelbane Hydra for 3.
I hope things get out of hand for you.
And we'll search our library and put something that costs 3 or less into play. And I think at this point, we want that to just be Spark Double. And put another Vivian into play.
Elemental cat dinosaurs. I love it.
So now we have 2 Vivians in play. This is pretty
I'd like
cool.
you to meet my friend, Stompy.
Agent of Treachery on the top of the library. It's nice to get a shuffle in and shuffle away the command tower. What's really interesting this time is we can, in theory, at some point, -2 both of them, and then when we play a creature spell, we'll get to search our library and put 2 different creatures into play. This new Vivian is very cool. Knowing that we're going to draw Agent of Treachery next turn, I think what I'm going to do... Okay, I was going to just kill their leyline, make a couple beasts, but that works out well. So 1 and 0. The new Vivian's pretty powerful. Having a +1 that puts a 3/3 with some sort of evasion on it, whether it be like trample, or if you need it to have vigilance or reach, like that's good. Having that be the +1 is nice. And then its -2 is very strong. This hand, not really what we're looking for. We're up against a Winota, so we know that our opponent is going to be very aggressive. So we need to try to find our mana dorks quickly and get our thing going. Not the best hand, but at least like we do have some early ramp. We can drop Kinnan on turn 2, and then turn 3 play a 5/4. Which might not be enough, but... So here we can play Kinnan. Sacrifice the food. Wait, hold on. Sacrifice the food. Now we get 2 mana and play Arcane Signet, which will also tap for 2 mana. And now our mana ramp is not attributed to the Gilded Goose. It's just something that will be here. We can play Fairy Formation. We can play Incubation Druid. I think I just want to play Fairy Formation. Makes it where they can't really attack with their Sky Knight Vanguard. What they would want to do is attack with it and put a token into play. But they can't really do that. And if we can limit the number of creatures Winota has early, we can really hamper them, or like hinder them from going off with their commander. And we also get to apply some like pretty okay pressure. I cast Raise the Alarm. And I'm just gonna kill the 2 soldier tokens, and I'm perfectly fine with it. We lose out on 1 mana, but we killed 2 of there are 2 non-humans. We want to play the Hydra as a 3/3. The only disappointing thing was, you know, we probably should have just played the Hydra as a 4/4 before we attacked. Alternatively, we can just replay Kinnan, and then play Incubation Druid from the Arcane Signet. Have a bunch of mana again next turn. So even if they play Winota here, it doesn't really do too much. Haktos. Protection from everything except 2. But Haktos is a human. And how much mana do we have here? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? We can make a 7/7? And attack for 5. And then we can even block Haktos with our Kinnan if we want to. Alternatively, we can just untap and mass manipulation whatever they play by keeping Kinnan in play. Because right now we can make what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So we can steal 2 things. If we draw a land, we can steal even more. 7, 9, 14. Oh, do we just have lethal? I think we just have lethal. Take all 3 of their creatures. Let me make sure I have this correct. Oh, nope, not that one. No, I can only take 2 things. But I still think we should do it. Right. Or, and I have 5 mana left. Okay, yes. 1, 2. And then we'll leave them with the humans. And we win. Excellent. So we were able to withstand the Winota onslaught. Being able to get out of the gate first is very nice. I also think them trading the soldier tokens for our Kinnan really helped us. Because if they just played those soldier tokens in a turn and then untapped and played Winota, then they would have been able to get a couple extra humans into play. And who knows what they would have spun the wheel and hit. But we're off to a good start. Opponent this time is playing Aluna, Apex of Wishes, another new card from Ikoria. It is 2 and Teamer for a 6/6 flying trample. And then whenever it mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a permanent, I believe? Or is it non-land permanent? I'll have to read it again in a second. Can't read it in the screen. This hand's a keep. Incubation Druid's a nice start. Hopefully ramp up to Nyx Bloom Ancient pretty soon. It is a non-land permanent whenever they mutate. And then they put it either into the battlefield or into their hand, whichever they prefer. As I said earlier, just lots of really cool cards from the new set. I think we drew Leyline as our first draw, which was a bit unfortunate. I think what we want to do here is just get Leyline going. Our opponent is going to get to mutate Aluna next turn, it looks like. And we can't really do anything about that. So I think we want to just try to increase our mana ramp as much as possible for if we draw a payoff. Next turn we can play Kinnan and then we can tap for 5? I think we can play Kinnan and then Tameo. Search for, say, Agent of Treachery. Ooh, Vivian.
You want to fight me? That's precious. I call, and Ikoria answers.
Well then. We can play Gyre Engineer. Yeah, I think what we do is Kinnan. And then Gyre Engineer. And we have a lot of mana next turn. Next turn we have 5 lands. 8, 10, 12, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so we have 12 mana next turn. It's just what are we going to do with it is the big question. When it puts Nylea into play. It makes a 6/6 flying trampler. And gets to put... Oh, they drew Hydroid Krasis, so at least it's not a big creature that comes into play right now. Here's a lot of mana. I don't even know how much mana we have. What is that? 3, 6, 11? Jeez. Alright, let's Tameo.
I would like to test a new hypothesis.
Try to get Agent of Treachery.
I think you will find my notes helpful.
We did not hit Agent Treachery, but we did hit Gadwick and Nyx Lotus and Karuga. Well, this is for 5. We'll play a 5/5. No attacks. Karuga would draw how many cards right now? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's assuming they don't just kill it with Aluna. But if they let us untap, we have a lot of mana. I don't even know how much. So they get to put 2 non-creatures into play because this is the second time it's been mutated. I'm sorry, not non-creatures, non-lands. Was it not non-lands? Oh, Chandra. Oh, Chandra's really bad for us. They just -3. Or they can kill the Ancient. They take away a lot of our mana if they -3. Oh, they just killed the Ancient. Okay. I don't blame them. Ancient was dealing a ton of damage. Now they do have to go ahead and kill the Tameo.
Making new friends.
Their deck is cool. I like it. I need to make an Aluna deck. Teamer is my favorite color combination. They have Paradise Druid. They get to draw a card. Traces for 4. Draw a couple more cards. Alright. We're gonna take 5. And then we're gonna see how much mana we have.
All stories must end.
Castle, not really what we're looking for. So the next question is, do we want to be pumping a bunch of mana into Leyline or into Kinnan? Okay, I think we want to adapt. 5. Like 7. Activate ability. Put a Leaf Ken Druid into play. Not really what we're looking for. Not really what we're hoping for. And we put the Finale of Devastation on the bottom, which was one of the cards we probably needed. Oh, they have their own Nyx Bloom Ancient. Yeah, I think we're in trouble now. I think our only real solution was the Finale of Devastation, and I don't even know if that would have been enough at this point. Oh, they search for Kogla. Command zone, please. Their deck is really cool, and you can definitely expect a Luna deck in the pipeline. Oh, they're gonna... Okay, so they get to make a 3/3. They get to... Oh, okay, so it's not for every time it mutates. They only get to get 1 card. The excellent non-land. Okay, I was thinking that because some of the mutate cards are for every time this is mutated, do this ability. Like this one. Yes. X is the number of times this creature is mutated. So they get to put 4 permanents into play and then a non-land permanent into play on top of that. I'm gonna let them go off because like we've definitely lost this game, but what they're doing is really cool, and I'm all right with it. Meteor Golem, Rhythm of the Wild. They played right into our hands by playing cards that we can kill with Steelbane Hydra. Oh no, it's mutating again! Can they, like, maybe deck or something? No. Sometimes when people make these really cool decks, I like to let them just, you know, kind of go off. Because you make these decks like do all these cool mutate things and like put things into play and get all these planeswalkers and steal these permanents. And sometimes it's fun to get to actually do it instead of just having the opponent concede once it becomes obvious that you've won. And so I'm just gonna let it happen. I'm incredibly dead. But the opponent deserves to have some fun. Oh yeah, like 10 cards left? What is that? Oh, Mirror Shield. Neat.
Oh, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
We are incredibly dead. We were not victorious in that one, but the opponent was doing really cool things. So I think that's fine. And that's one of the fun things for me about Brawl, is that the stakes have never been lower. So you get to just kind of make these cool decks that do these cool things and play against other people that are making cool decks, trying to do cool things. And if you lose, you just shrug and move on to the next one. Speaking of the next one, it looks like our opponent has both a commander and a companion. I'll keep this hand. Turn 3 Guardian Project sounds fun. Opponent's commander is Ikoria, a 3-mana planeswalker that lets you untap permanents, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater comes into play under their control, they get to draw a card. And then their companion is Ikoria, a 5-mana 5/4, that when it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control, CMC 3 or more. The good news is, because Ikoria is their companion, they can't get off to that great of a start. They can't have anything in their deck that costs 1 or 2 mana. But now the heavy hitters will start. I think what we'll do is just untap and play Guardian Project. Start getting the train rolling. The value engine rolling. So every time we play a creature now, every time a creature enters the battlefield under our control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature we control, or a creature in our graveyard, we draw a card. And because this is Commander, or Brawl, it's very rare that this is not going to draw a card. The only exception will be something like Spark Double coming into play, copying a creature, and not drawing a card. Next turn we can untap, play Kinnan, and then still have 4 mana available. Potentially have a Agent of Treachery and a Mass Manipulation in the pipeline. Opponent also getting their ramp on with the banner. Oh, Uro. Yeah, so we get to play Kinnan, draw a card, and then play Uro. Draw 2 cards, one for Guardian Project and then one for Uro itself. Put a land into play. And in the turn. Oh, we even get like the Great Henge. Next turn we can drop Kogla. Fight whatever they play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll have 6 mana, so we could Kogla. And then this would cost what? 4 less? No, 7 less. 5 less. Okay, yeah. So I think we'll be able to play the Great Henge too. The one mildly frustrating thing about Arena is that it shows me the casting cost of what it is, but not like what the actual casting cost is. Like, I don't know how to make it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it normally costs 7. Yeah, so we'll be able to play it for green. Opponent played Kiora into Loathsome Chimera, which is fine. Is this ability? No, it's just spells. So we'll play Kogla. Eats the 4/3. Draw a card. And then play the Great Henge. Which lets us hold up the indestructible aspect of Kogla. Next turn, Kogla can attack and kill the banner. So we're looking okay. Especially if opponent's play is to play a 4/4. A very good play, but doesn't stop the Kogla train. It is a little bit unfortunate that they couldn't get the rights to actual King Kong for a second card for Kogla. Similar to how they have Godzilla and Mothra and Baby Godzilla. I would love to see a King Kong card. The monster cards I think are really, really cool. Right now we can make 3 blue. With Nyx Lotus, we're going to be able to make a lot of mana. Go ahead and gain our 2 life here. How do we want to handle this? We have a lot of options. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana, but only 3 blue at the moment. So we can play Agent of Treachery, and then we'd still have 4 mana. And then that'll also help us with the Nyx Lotus. Yeah, I think what I want to do, play Agent of Treachery, and take... Oh, they've had enough. Okay. Yeah, we were about to do some really, really busted things, because we were going to get Nyx Lotus into play, tapping for 9 mana, and then we have Mass Manipulation. So we were able to take that one down. And now let's go play our 5th and final game. We're guaranteed a winning record, so that's nice. Always feels good to get the 3rd win in our 5 games. Who is the final boss? I believe that's Yarick? Did I say that right? Yeah, Yarick the Desecrated. Okay. This hand is bad. No early mana ramp. Short on mana, so we'll take our free mulligan here. And this hand is much better for our deck. Our opponent's commander is Yarick the Desecrated, which is a 2 Insulti for a 3/5, Death Touch and Lifelink. And then anytime something comes into play and triggers an ability, that ability triggers twice for them. So next turn we can play Kinnan and then Leafkin Druid, turn this food into a more long-term mana ramp. Means next turn we have 5 mana. Oh, Spark Double onto Kinnan could be interesting. Although I think I just want to play Tameo and make it where they can't make us discard or sacrifice anything. And I think I want to try to grab, let's say, Nyx Lotus. Incorrect. Although we did get the Nyx Bloom Ancient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not something we can quite play yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't Agent of Treachery. How do we want to handle this then? We can Spark Double a second Tameo. We gotta assume that Pelucranos is gonna kill our Kinnan next turn. And we want to be able to still, like... get out that Agent of Treachery next turn. I think what I want to do... just grab Incubation Druid.
No tail should be discarded.
Then we can make a food in a turn. I guess we could have Spark Doubled Kinnan. That way we knew we would have it in play. And I think we're okay with Tameo just biting the dust. That makes us lose our Nyxbloom Ancient, which I guess we might want down the stretch. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think with our current hand, that's A-okay.
I have become too involved with my work.
Oh, they're just gonna play Yarrick. Okay, well, that means we get to kind of do some fun stuff. How much mana do we have now? We have a lot. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is 7, 4, 11. So we get to take both of their things. So we're going to play Agent of Treachery. Actually, we want to do it this way. Agent of Treachery. Take Yarrick. Resolve. Spark Double. Agent of Treachery. It's going to trigger twice now because we have Yarrick. We're going to take their Pelucranos and their Command Tower. And we win! That was awesome! So Kinnan goes 4-1. On the back of stealing their Yarrick with Agent of Treachery and then immediately playing a Spark Double to steal 2 more things. So it was really fun. Let's go pull this deck up again. Boom, give me that gold. So Kinnan ended up being really good. It's very, very powerful. Yet another extremely strong commander from Ikoria. Very, very fun. We got to do some nice math, trying to figure out how much mana we had, especially with the Nyxbloom Ancient in play. We got to steal some creatures. We didn't really ever get to do the fun Leyline of Abundance, add a bunch of counters, or where is it? Finale of Devastation, bringing in a bunch of stuff. But we did get to play multiple Vivians on the battlefield at the same time. New Vivian seems great. Great Henge, still very good. Kogla seems wonderful. Coming in, fighting something right away, and then destroying artifacts is huge. Spark Double was great. The mana ramp was fun, was perfectly fine and solid. All in all, a really fun deck and quite powerful. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching Kinnan do Kinnan things. And I hope to see you next time. So have a great one.